So today we're going to talk about how to manifest money by healing financial trauma. If you're a heart-centered female entrepreneur or a heart-centered entrepreneur that works very diligently, patiently, and lovingly, and yet are not manifesting the financial freedom that you know that you are worthy and deserving of, you may be wondering, heck, what is going on? What am I doing wrong? I keep investing in mentors, I'm reading books, I'm taking courses. So it may be that you may be needing to heal from financial trauma. This is what happened to me. Hi, if this is your first time tuning in live or via the replay, first of all, let me say thank you for tuning in. Secondly, if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe so that you get notified every time that I come live. And thirdly, please make sure to tune in with me by joining our fabulously financially free FABpreneurs community. It's a free community for heart-centered female entrepreneurs on Facebook. And just message me anywhere that you see this video. Now, today I have the pleasure of having a very special guest. And, I'm saying very special because she said yes to being here today. And, I am a big believer that when we say yes to the universe, and the universe being ourselves, anyone and everyone, we are really demonstrated that we're open and receptive to receiving. And so it is with that I'm going to ask my very special guest to introduce herself and tell us more about herself. But first, if this is your first time, please note, share in the chat who you are. Where are you tuning in from? Are you on YouTube, Facebook, livestream, LinkedIn? And tell us a little bit about you. Where in the world are you? I'm Evie Diaz, a financial empowerment speaker, a financial trauma healer, and soon to be a published author. And today I have Carolyn Cooper, which I met through the Grand Connection. Carolyn, can you please tell us a little bit about you?
I would be honored to. Thank you. There's a little bit of echo going on here. I'm not sure what.
Mute myself so that there's no echo.
Sounds great. So I just want to start by saying I think this is such an inspirational position that you're serving here, Evie. Like, it is, all of us need to really understand our financial position, our financial mindset, our financial belief system in order to flourish and be financially abundant. And I'm Carolyn. I am an inspiration mindset coach and business strategist, and I'm the co-founder of the Grand Connection, which is a global, virtual business skills development and networking organization that is very heart-centered. And Evie's is part of our community. And I work with businesses to aim high, which is activate their inspired mindset and really live the life that they dream of, accomplishing those big, bold, beautiful dreams and visions, and to reach their goals and serve with purpose, passion, and from their highest self. That's who I am. And I have the honor of leading masterminds, VIP days, and working with clients one-on-one all over the world.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I absolutely love that. And I like how you use the AIM. I love acronyms. And so prior to you logging in and deciding saying yes to me and to the universe, we started a conversation because today I really wanted to share this idea of that when heart-centered entrepreneurs are passionate and have their purpose and are really working from that place that you talked about earlier with me of their purpose, and yet they may find themselves not manifesting. I said manifesting because that's our conference, not manifesting financial freedom. That, like me, they may have some unresolved financial trauma. So I want to begin there because I always feel that, this is new to me. For the longest time, I was And I wish I could tell I'm fully healed. I'm still healing because as I'm writing this book, I keep discovering all these things. So a few months ago, I just discovered this financial trauma because Ree Tracy, I was in a meeting for Hay House, and Ree Tracy was talking about how they are getting more interested in trauma. And something he said about trauma, I said, oh my goodness, let me look at if there's such a thing as financial trauma, because I was calling it money trauma. And so I researched on Google and I found that there's a new organization in the realm of psychology that was, I believe, developed by a father son psychologist. And not too long ago, they discovered this financial trauma. And financial trauma is slightly different from financial stress. I mean, I think at some point in our lives, we all go through financial stress. Financial trauma is slightly different. Financial trauma usually results and it begins during childhood or during a very traumatic time in our lives. And let me just quickly explain what I mean. I was born into poverty. That's right. Both of my parents were very poor. And then when I was 11 years old, my mom left an abusive physical and verbally and emotionally abusing relationship. And overnight, we left overnight and we were left homeless. And we were very poor, even more poor. And so my mom, we had nothing but the clothes on our backs. And we had to come live with my aunt, who already had 5 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. So there were 3 adults and 8 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. So we were homeless. And so we suffered a lot in childhood, right? And, I'm talking about like, people that are my age, over 50, may recognize there was a time in the United States, and I don't know if in Canada it was like this, that the government would give cheese in poor communities. And so my mom would send me out to get on the line to get the free cheese from the government, and we had food stamps. And, my brother and I, we had to actually break into an apartment from the government housing so that we could be squatters. And we became squatters because we were homeless. And we jumped from a 2-story bedroom we broke a glass and jumped into this apartment because my mom was a single mom. And she said, well, if we live there, I have 3 kids, they're not going to force me to get out. And so all that created a series of trauma that I didn't realize until later on in life when I was, creating a lot of wealth, and I manifested a lot of wealth by the age of 30. I had amassed over $3 million in assets. And then shortly after, I lost my business that I had, and I lost all that money, and I started making money again. And then my business partner asked me for a big loan, over 100,000. I loaned it to her, and then she disappeared and never paid me, and I started losing money again. Then I ended up in the hospital, almost died, and I had no health insurance, and I ended up with a $250,000 medical bill, and I had to declare bankruptcy. So I had all these things coming and going. So I never knew how much financial trauma was impacting me. And I was going through these times when I was like, oh, I really want to do well. And then I would do well, and then I would come right down. So that is very different than what we may face, especially entrepreneurs, where we may have our lows and our highs. Does that make it kind of simple to understand?
Yes, it does. And the truth is that everything that happened to us in our childhood, truthfully, I believe was for us. So that's my position in life, is everything. That's the hard things. I, thank God, grew up with a very affluent family, and I've always had this really healthy relationship with money. I've always manifested it, always grown it, always had it. I've never had the stress of financial, suffering ever, my whole entire life. I bought my first house at 22. And I mean, I love people. I learned about people. I learned about sales. I constantly keep expanding and learning and growing. Yet I had issues of mental health issues that created a passion and a purpose inside of me to understand that what we think is what we feel, and what we feel is what we do. And that's how
Yes.
we manifest results. So my trauma was different than yours, yet it has created a fuel, a purpose, a flame that has never gone out. And I serve from my highest self. So do you, Evie. And that's where you and I are totally connected, girl, is that, we need to be really curious about this trauma that we have come from. And, what have we learned? Well, that's the fuel that ignites the passion in how we're going to make a difference in this world. I mean, I absolutely know this is the truth. I have supported thousands of businesses around the world over the last 40 years for me in business. And I know it is a fact, and it takes courage, it takes bravery, but it also takes a massive amount of wonder and curiosity, and then translating that into serving.
Yes. I love that you said that. And I love that you started by saying that, well, kind of what I understood it happening for us. And that is very interesting because the more that we do this work, the work of self development, self improvement, which is a lifelong, I believe, from the moment that we realize it until the moment that we say good night, goodbye forever. And when we are on this path, we come to realize that we have a choice, and that's a choice word right there. And the choice is, and I get to choose every day, by the way. Today, do I choose to be a victorious, or do I choose to be a victim? And that's why we are ever expanding, ever growing, and that's why we must remain, in my belief, open and receptive. Because for the longest time, because I had been a victim, I thought that's it, I'm a victim for life, and I have to stay as a victim. But I realized that every single day, with every occurrence, I can say, wait a minute, Evie, today or in this instant, and in this incident, maybe there's an incident that happens. Do I want to be a victor? Do I want to be victorious? Or do I want to be a victim? And that is what I think makes the great difference. And it's even the intention, because I love talking about intention. It's even the intention. Yes or yes? What do you think?
Well, that's about 5 million, yes. And what I want to tell people right now is this key right here represents everything for me. A woman, when I was 18 years old, taught me something. She taught me to think above the line. The line is choice. So we can choose to be curious about any situation, good, bad, or indifferent, all of it. We can choose to be curious about how this can contribute to our purpose in life and in our business. We can choose to have doubt and fear and resistance and anger and resentment, and yet that takes away from our life energy. That takes away from our success. I know for a fact that when people make the decision in that moment, it happens in moment to moment, that if you're curious, you'll find a solution, you'll find an answer. If you fall below the line and go to doubt, fear, resistance, that's when things get harder.
And that is absolutely true. And some of the work that I research and I'm using for my book titled Money Scripting is the work of Dr. Hawkins. He was an MD, PhD. Yes, I love his
I
work.
love him. I
And I
love him.
love the scale of consciousness. And,
Yes.
part of the work that, let me go ahead and announce it now. We have our upcoming yearly event. This year is called Moneyfest Live, and I'll put it here for everyone to join us. And if you are a Grand Connection member, make sure that you touch base with me or inside of the community for a very special code, because benefit of the Grand Connection membership, which Carolyn is one of the founding members, and last week or the week before I had Susan, they get a 50% discount, and of that 50%, half of that 50% of the proceeds are going to benefit. Tell us about the organization again, so people know.
It is very, it is very meaningful to us at the Grand Connection. We have a charity in Uganda called Mother Magdalene Foundation. There is over 200 children in this school that are orphans that we have been supporting for the last 2.5 years. And Evie, I got to tell you, the 50% contribution that you are giving to this charity will make such a massive difference in these children's lives. So we have collaborated and partnered with other organizations and made a meaningful difference in this school in Uganda. And, honestly, just to know that you're contributing to those kids' lives and their learning and where they sleep. I mean, we've got them so many things, like a water tank. The made a massive difference having fresh water there. The building for the 11 teachers with a roof and doors and windows and sleeping. And so, I mean, we can make a difference, but making the decision to be a part of this event will do that. And, the reason you want to say yes to this event, Evie was just talking about saying yes to your business, saying yes to your life. You want to say yes to this event because you want to learn new ideas. We're here to learn as human beings, and we're here to love as human beings. And you want to come and be inspired. You're going to hear ideas and concepts and things that you can take with you that will change your mental mindset on your financial position and create more abundance for you, for your family, because all entrepreneurs deserve to be successful. And it is a mindset. That's where it starts. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And I know you are too. Evie, your book you're writing right now, and all these incredible contributions you do online for all these women. I mean, so just say yes. Like, if you're thinking about it right now, I'm going to invite you to just click on that link right now, because you'll forget after you see
Yes.
Evie and I leave. Okay. And I'm just suggesting just click on it right now. And so Evie, if they click on it, well, if they can't make the whole event, what happens then? Will they receive the recording or
There is
no?
no replay. That's what is called Manifest Live. This is an experiential event. It is
Perfect.
meant to be experienced live.
Great.
We only have 3 speakers, and the reason for that is because we're actually going to be doing some work. We're going to be doing mindset work, mindset around, victimhood, financial trauma, healing, the mindset of giving, because, it is important for us, like for me, I was expecting and hoping that I would have an organization that I can give back to, because when we first started, we were doing the backpack drive in Miami, and we're still working with that organization, but it's not as active because the backpack drive finished. So when I met Susan and she told me about your organization, I said, oh my goodness, it is divinely appointed.
It
So
is.
it's meant to be. So we are going to talk about that mindset. We're going to talk about that vibration and that energy. Because yes, it does make a difference, the energy that we have, whether it's an energy of anxiety, an energy of giving, an energy of love. And, if we follow the work of Dr. Hawkins, who was an MD and a PhD, we know that that energy of love, which is one of the highest vibrations that he calibrated at 500, really is what helps us to be able to manifest
That's right.
more abundantly. And so when we give with an open heart of love, whether it is giving time to each other, giving money, when we give, we are opening up our hearts, our mind, and our energy to receiving. And
Yes.
so I want to invite you to, if you're part of the Grand Connection community, to join us for sure. And if you're not, to join us too, because we will be sharing. The next thing we're going to be sharing is marketing. We're going to be sharing about what is the best, most organic, authentic way that you can market yourself without feeling pushy. And then we're also going to talk about Nancy Matthews, one of our guests, is going to talk about selling and selling from the heart-based selling, where you can turn a friendly conversation into a conversion, not from a place of selling like, oh my God, I got to close them. No. Is this something that's going to create a win-win? Where, it's a win-win relationship where someone needs it and wants it, not being pushy. So I love the word sharing. Some people like the word serving. Well, yeah, we have solutions that serve other people, right? And if we feel comfortable serving in that way, then that's when we want to invite people to come join us in a journey. And if we're not feeling that energy, and if they're not feeling it, we can't force people. So we're going to be talking about money mindset, the mindset. We're going to be talking about the marketing magic, and we're going to talk about this heart-based selling so that we feel good sharing and serving to our highest purpose, other people and everyone around.
That sounds absolutely magnificent. And those are the elements that women in business need to elevate. So this journey of entrepreneurship is a journey. It's a constant. We were talking about this before we got on here, Evie. It's a constant personal growth journey as well as a professional growth journey, and to be around other people that share the same core values as you, that are like-minded, that are heart-centered, that are purpose-driven. Those are the people that you want to have in your dream team, in your strategic partners, in your tribe, because that's the game changer. They will have answers for you that you need right now that they can just share with you right off the top of their head. And it could be an answer that you've been looking for 6 months. And it happens like that. But it takes you, those people that are listening, I'm talking to you, to create an intention before you come to this event. So decide within yourself, write it down, what it is that you want to give, because we're all grand givers here. We all have skills, talents, and expertise that we can share. That's number one. Second part is, what do you really want to receive? What do you really want to accomplish as an end result, as an end goal, as an outcome from participating at this event? And honestly, when you set a clear intention and you position that in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit, it'll happen. Absolutely, it will happen. And it'll feel great because you're going to be around other people who can support you to have that end result and will give you a piece of that puzzle that you need, that just finishes off that vision, that goal, and that dream. Or they'll connect you with someone who is perfect to collaborate with. So I want to invite you, like, what you don't know right now, you don't even know that you don't know it. And I know with you making the commitment right here, right now, to sign up for this event, that you will discover so many skills, so many ideas, so much inspiration that it will inspire you to take more consistent action. Because focused energy and what Evie was talking about, which is functioning from that higher vibration, is absolutely important. And what I call thinking above the line, and having that 100% commitment to doing that is what makes the difference in manifesting exactly what you want in your business. Because you will attract clients like a magnet. And you will attract those ideal clients that you cherish to work with, that you feel so grateful to serve them. And I
Yes.
don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care if you're an author, a speaker, a graphic designer, a website, any. But
Yeah,
you have to really stretch, right, Evie?
absolutely. And you know what I wanted to say? Sometimes if you have an analytical mind like I have, you know, at the beginning of the year, I set the intention that I wanted to meet the right people, and I worried. And worry is calibrated low, it's a low energy emotion. And then I released it and I said, I want to really come together because, sometimes as solopreneurs, we can feel alone or lonely. But guess what? We don't have to feel that way. That's number one. Number two, the how things are to happen is none of our business. We just have to set the intention because I set the intention, and I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to meet both founders, Carolyn and your partner, Susan, because the energy, it was like an immediate attraction with both of you. And your hearts and the way, your authentic way of sharing your great energy, it just it just restores my own faith. And you and I were talking about sometimes we need to release the control. And I want you to talk about that because we were talking about releasing, surrendering. And I just want to leave everyone with those thoughts because to manifest money, I said we want to heal our financial trauma. And I really believe that a part of healing our financial trauma is releasing and surrendering so that we can receive. And you remember what we were talking about right
Yeah,
before we jumped live?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
I truly do. And this concept of surrender, when you truly surrender to what is, because what is, you need to stop telling yourself non-truths. You need to look deeply in the mirror and look deep and look at the truth and tell yourself the truth. And the surrender piece, it'll hurt for a short period of time, but you'll be surprised how fast you can move through that when you set the intention and wrap your heart around what you really, really matters most to you. So surrender is an important piece because that's the only way that we can change.
Yes.
That is the only way we can change. But we
And we
need to
must trust that. We must trust it. We
yes,
must
yes,
trust
yes,
ourselves, source, divine,
yes,
divine source,
yes,
the universe.
yeah,
Absolutely. So
yeah,
we're going to be talking more about this, not just at Moneyfest, but for a while we'll be talking because it is something that every day we must surrender
yeah,
to our higher self. We must surrender to this need to control, and we must trust. We
yeah.
must trust ourselves, our higher knowing, or I like to call it our fabulous, financially free future self.
Yes,
Because
yes.
that
That
fabulous,
person is waiting. Like
yes,
they're on the sidelines. They're like, "Come on, go girl, you
that's
got
right.
this. You got this." And so we have to believe in ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. And I know we're going to wrap up in
Yes,
20 seconds here.
yeah,
But I just want to say to the people who've enjoyed this conversation, to have more of this, come to the event. Come to the Grand Connection, grandconnection.ca. Come and hang out with these great heart-centered, purpose-driven people. We welcome you to attend 2 events. Just come. grandconnection.ca and contribute to our charity. Have your heart as a grand giver, we call it.
yes.
Just register for the event. And thank you, Evie, for having me on here. I mean, there's many adventures for us to be had because our core values are in complete alignment. And I just blessings to you, my dear. I really appreciate being on here today. Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you. I appreciate your organization. And I appreciate all of those people that are tuning in, whether in the live or the replay. And know that there is no coincidence. I
Mm-mm.
truly believe that everything happens as a divine incidence.
Yeah.
And it is for us to just accept, receive, because we talked about we ask, right? And we forget to receive. So if you've been asking, note that your prayers, your requests, your thoughts, your intentions are manifesting now. I see you manifesting all your intentions now because you've asked and you are receiving.
So my three words are ask, allow, and receive. So
There you go.
I'm gonna leave you with that. So thank you, Evie. Thank you. Nice seeing everybody. I don't get to see you, but nice connecting with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you and everyone at Moneyfest Live on Friday, November 1st and Saturday, November 2nd. Remember, tune in to Moneyfest Live, and I look forward to seeing you. Leave any thoughts, remarks, or questions right wherever you see this video, and we'll come back and answer your questions and we will connect. Thank you so much, and bye for now. Bye.